What's up, you guys? It's Benny T from SayWord, and we are back with episode 22 of Word Wednesday with my good buddy, Casey. I'm super stoked to have him in. He's going to let you know who he is and what he's about in just a second. But make sure if you haven't watched any of the previous episodes with Ben or Sam Baroni, you make sure you check those out. Clips right here on Instagram. Otherwise, full videos are up on YouTube. So, Casey, welcome to Word Wednesday.
Thank you.
Right off the bat, we try letting people know who you are, what you do, where you're from, how we know each other, stuff like that. And
it's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My name's Casey. I'm from the village of Eden. Not the Garden of Eden, but the village of Eden, which is way less cool. It's like 700 people.
Okay. Where's that in? Like, what's the biggest city like next to you then?
Like Fond du Lac.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like the big city for me when I was like a kid. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, let's go to the mall. Oh, you know what I mean? Like McDonald's. You know. Like,
what?
Yeah. It was like a treat. But yeah. So from a really small town, there's literally like a gas station, a church, 7 bars, in like a subdivision. You know what I mean?
Typical small like Wisconsin town.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, started coming down to Milwaukee when I was like 16. Like hardcore shows, metalcore shows, and SayWerd Legion Hall.
Yep.
And I saw the big city, the real big city.
The real big city. The Milwaukee.
Would come down for shows and saw like a whole other world of like people fighting each other during music and you know, just crazy stuff. So
was that your first like real big exposure? Was going to the SayWerd Legion Hall?
Yeah.
Because you obviously didn't have a scene up there yet.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, Fond du Lac had like a little something. Like I had like a little metalcore band in Fond du Lac, and everyone else thought we were like freaks because it wasn't happening up there yet, you know. But yeah, a lot of like Milwaukee bands and like metalcore.
So you said 16, so you're talking probably like 2007, 2008, like right around there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually met up with. I'm telling my whole life story and not not the questions you asked. I'm just like
that's fine. No, give us the breakdown.
Okay. So, yeah,
we got to know where you started to where you are now.
Okay. Yeah.
The journey's
real. This is a good way to start it. So,
Oh.
I ended up running into people. There was like a pretty good metalcore scene here in that era, and I met a few people. Started a band from here. And when I had my like GDL license, I was like 16, you know, I like wasn't even supposed to be driving at night.
Yeah.
And I'm driving to Milwaukee with like, I think MapQuest at the time, you know what I mean? I had like a flip phone and I'm like, dude,
following like
I don't even
directions.
Know. Dude, I barely know how to drive. And I'm just like literally white knuckling it.
That is something I feel like people take for granted now. Like the generation like below us who grew up like with smartphones when they were driving, like, dude, I remember like navigating through Chicago with my like handwritten fucking bullshit directions. It was literally like a left angle, like it was a cheat code.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I did that, and I feel like I don't know, like my mom is still afraid to come to Milwaukee, you know what I mean, like afraid like the traffic and stuff, and I overcame that hurdle at like 16, you know, so I feel like a real adult because I could drive in the city and stuff.
Milwaukee's nothing. She
literally like breaks on Hive. She gets so stressed out when she's down here. Anyway, I met some people through the scene there. We started a band. I'm still in high school at the time.
Okay.
But all the other guys are out of high school, a little older, and
what were you playing?
I was playing guitar.
Okay.
I used to write music by myself in my house in Eden. There's like no one else to play music with, so I figured out how to use these like old ass computer programs that would like, I didn't even record, I like type it all in, like the notes in, and then play back. It was so bad. But I had these songs I written and I brought them to these guys. I'm like, I have these few songs, like these are cool. And they had connections and friends and got us like a lot of shows in the city, and I was like, I'm living my dream. I'm playing in Milwaukee. You know, this band's huge. You know what I mean?
Made it.
Yeah. Here we go. And we actually ended up touring a little bit, even though they were like really insane tours. We were playing in like basements.
Yeah.
You know, like
Friday we're playing gyms.
Yeah, we played Gary, Indiana. You know, it's just like the first time I ever heard gunshots in my life. I was like playing the show.
Like 16, 17 playing in.
I was probably like 18 at the time.
Okay.
When we started like touring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we played this show in Gary, Indiana, and like in a basement that was like not even, I couldn't even stand up all the way in it. I'm literally, I'm playing like this. There's like a bar in front of me. There's like 7 people there. I'm like, what am I even doing?
You were like playing a birthday party.
Yeah, it was dude, like, I think someone was like living in the back corner. I don't know. It got weird, but I was like coming from like nothing, like a farm town to like
it was still huge.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh God,
So,
yeah. Especially at the time, the way that just things like that seem and are so much bigger to you than
right.
like,
And then at that time, I'm like, I don't have to go to college. Like, I'm going to be a rock star, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Thankfully, like, kind of worked out for me because otherwise I'd be screwed. But yeah. So I eventually moved down to Milwaukee, probably 2010 ish.
Okay.
And that's when I started like producing more hip hop and stuff like that. What other questions? I feel like I'm just rambling. Well, yeah, my name's Casey Soyk. I'm in a band called Harm's Way. I play bass in that band. I also produce music, R&B, like trap music sometimes, or I have in the past, just like computer music. I also draw portraits of people, like dogs and stuff like that. Just like little,
just a casual Renaissance
yeah,
man.
That was another thing that being in a small town, like literally not having like anything to do and just like learning how to draw. So yeah, I guess that's who I am.
Yeah. Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
So you said 2010s when you came in, and that's when you really started producing like music stuff. I know you did stuff with like different Milwaukee rappers. You're the one who introduced me actually to D Bridge, Daryl Bridgman.
Nice.
And I really like a lot of his stuff, and it's turned me on to a lot. And it's funny, you have stuff that you've put out. You said 2010. That some of this stuff probably came out 10 years ago, but like people like my cousin and I, like we still bump a lot of that old stuff. Like I'll go over there and he'll be playing it, or like
That's
he
crazy.
showed it to his fiance and like turned him on like the Gucci Gang mix and just
Oh,
like
yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff you've done like is really cool, and the talent's really there. It's really sick.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so how long were you doing like kind of, I guess, like producing out of your house kind of to yourself before you got like your first like project, like something that somebody picked up, you were in the studio with somebody? How long was that?
Yeah, I started tinkering around in like 2010.
Okay.
It's so funny. It's like I have like my mom's like gateway laptop that like cracked FL Studios on. And it's seriously like a spaceship. The thing was like, I think she still uses it somehow. I'm like, Mom, you need something from like this decade, but I'm just, so loud. I feel like the fan was louder than the beats. You know what I mean? But yeah, so it's like this part's hard. I'm gonna sample the
Sampling the fan.
It was hilarious. It was like a gateway computer, and then like not monitor speakers, but just like a boombox. You know what I mean? It was just like, what am I doing?
Auxiliary cord to a boombox.
And it's like, oh my God, I'm like sampling, like I don't even know. It was insane, but I was like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? So like, got me into it, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta buy a keyboard, I gotta buy all this stuff. And this is when I think like bedroom producing like was kind of like new.
Yeah.
Where I would like look up YouTube, like how do I EQ a kick? And like there would be like a video, and now there's like, hey guys, like how to EQ your kick drums. So like,
in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Like download all this stuff, and there you go. You know what I mean? Like
click AI. Auto insert
AI, these loops here, and then you got a song. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any information, so I'm just like literally tinkering around with stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was 2010, and then I think 2012-ish probably. I lived with a friend who was going to college, and he like had a friend that went to school with him, and he rapped. Okay. He like came over and I played him a beat, and he ended up like recording on it.
Yeah.
My friend John Schaefer, shout out John. And we're still friends, and we still talk about it. Like he was like the first person I heard like lyrics on like a beat of mine, and it's like so much different. You know what I mean? You hear instrumental, and then you hear a vocal on it. It's like, wow, this is a real song. This feels real, So that was the first time I had like vocals on a track, and I was really excited about it. Yeah. And then from there, just kind of doing, I didn't have like a lot of rappers that I like knew or whatever. And I think the next rapper I worked with is a guy named Blax, BLAX. And yeah, he I linked up with him through a friend, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to record at my house?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He picks me up. We go to like the north side for the first time, like smoking a blunt outside. I'm like, "How did I get here?" I'm like, "This is crazy." You know what I mean? Like this kid from like
Eden.
Eden, Wisconsin, now like smoking blunts in the north side of Milwaukee, just like
producing,
like recording in someone's
on a gateway.
Yeah, like recording in someone's like basement, like a closet or something. I'm like, this is. I was like, I made it again. I was like, this is cooler than I ever thought anything would be. So that was like one thing, and then after that, I didn't really have a lot of people to work with, so I would just like make remixes and stuff. I would just like find acapellas and stuff on YouTube or acapellas on SoundCloud or whatever, and just like make my own music to their acapella. So there's already like a vocal on there. It has a key, and I can kind of build around the vocal.
Yeah.
Which was like part of my thing for a while. So I did a lot of remixes and stuff just because I could put it out and it still sounded interesting, and people still had like something to grab onto. They're like, "Oh, I know this song, but this beat's cool. What is this beat?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my thing for a while, and then Webster X was actually like we put out a track called "Desperate Youth."
Yeah.
And it popped off in the city for a while.
Yeah.
It was like I got like 10,000 plays on like SoundCloud. Like
you had a beanie and glasses. I remember.
I was so nerdy.
You look so young.
Yeah.
You look so what? This is what now 2014.
No, it's probably 2013, 14,
okay.
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Did a video for it. It's just
please the bridge.
Don't look at it, please. I'm wearing.
Put the link in the bio. In the description.
Yeah. If you want to laugh, I have like the biggest. Dude, I'm so out of place, and like I still feel that way. I'm like, I can make this stuff, but like I don't want it.
I don't need to be visually involved.
Yeah. Every time I'm behind the camera, I'm like, hey, like the dork. I'm just like, I don't belong here, and I'll just make the music. You guys do the thing.
As we're doing an interview.
Yeah, right. Yeah, honestly, this is like my first podcast or whatever you want to call it, and I just feel like there might be a lot of cuts because I might just say some random shit. Because if you see like a bunch of cut up stuff, it's probably me saying some wild shit. Because I don't know. Yeah, cut that out. Yeah, dude. I don't want to sidebar too much, but I did an interview one time with Harm's Way, and it was like a Nardwuar like style. Like he like knew shit about us and stuff. Like he looked at like our Facebook page or whatever and like found out stuff about us. It was on my birthday, so he like gives me a balloon in the beginning of the interview. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's like, so you like Katy Perry, huh? Because there was like a Katy Perry poster like on my Facebook at the time or something I bought for a joke or whatever.
Yeah.
And later in the interview, I was like, yeah, I wanted to see her balloons. And I was like, why did I say that? It's like a professional interview, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, and they're like, dude, what are you talking? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just came out like. Yeah, I feel like I had a chance to Katy Perry until I blew it with the balloon
until you
joke.
made the balloon joke.
She's like,
She does like younger guys. So
Katy
Perry,
looking at it.
Our boy's looking for you.
So looking. So where were we?
So have you ever had
ADHD,
have you ever had any other like goofy, inappropriate, like what the fuck moments like with the band? Because I'm sure you guys have toured the world. You guys been in Europe. You've been all over the place. Like I can only imagine that there's been some outrageous. Excuse me, I can't stop burping. I'm a fucking pig. I'm assuming there's been some like outrageous stories, times happen, especially like the like we all know the meme, like the meme that like or the reel or the TikTok of the audio over of like if you don't know, look it up. James, the lead singer. But what's some crazy like fan experience or story or just like a weird situation you guys got into on tour or something?
It's hard. I feel like there's a lot, and like there's so many. I feel like, and my brain
just blanks.
Yeah.
You're like, this one time we went to McDonald's and they messed up our food order.
Yeah, we got so mad.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can tell a story how we had our entire trailer stolen from us.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we started this tour. It's the first show's in San Diego, and we're doing like routing shows. Because the first show's in San Diego, obviously we already get there. So usually bands do like offshoot shows on the way there to make money to like make the trip. And we did one in Vegas. We have all of our gear, all of our merch, starting like a month-long tour. So we're like fully packed, and we stay at the Luxor in Vegas. We loved it. We loved
That's
the
where
Luxor,
I stayed
dude.
the last time.
The pyramid,
Yeah,
Chris Angel,
dude, it makes me feel like a fucking pharaoh in that bitch.
It's sick.
Yeah, mind freak. Are you kidding me?
Love it. We love Vegas.
I gotta go back. I haven't
Yeah.
been in like probably 5 or 6 years.
Dude, we go often. James and Bo, but mostly James, it's like loves gambling. Like he's like a kid in the candy store.
Yeah.
Like
oh, you were telling me he was doing like sport bets for a while, like parlays and like DraftKings. Oh yeah, he won on DraftKings.
He won 106. This is okay. We'll get to that.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I think this is the same tour, by the way. We'll get to that. So we'll get. So we're on the way to this tour. Whatever. We play Vegas. We like stay the night. We're like, yeah, everyone's in a good mood. We're in, get to the car, or we get to where the van was parked in the trailer. And it wasn't me, but it was Bo and James, and they go out there, and Bo's like, I don't like to see the trailer. It must be behind that tree, which is not, it's like a tree this big, but his mind was like, it's behind this twig here. And he's like, wait a minute. The trailer is not there, Yeah.
What was it connected to?
Our van.
Like a tour,
so it's like a 15-passenger van trailer, like a U-Haul. We rented it. Someone in the middle of the night, like, cut the chains, stole the entire thing. So all of our merch, all of our gear, everything that we own is just gone.
Fuck.
We still make it to the next show. We just borrowed gear. Everyone heard about it. So people were tipping really well. And we had some merch, I think, was like flown to us or something. So people were really supportive, and we ended up getting through it and all. But yeah, I think either that tour or the one right after that is when James would sports bet. And he bet on like Golden State in like a tournament. It was like the first game of the season or something like that. And
yeah,
we were on the way home, and he's like, dude, I think I just won $50,000. And we were like, what? We're like all screaming. He's like, dude, and we like pull over, we're like, yeah, you know what I mean? And then like there's like stat correction stuff. Like sometimes we're like, okay, we have to go back. Did this guy really rebound, or was it this guy? Or whatever. So there's like a stat correction. So it's like, dude, I'm in second now. I might lose it all if this,
Yeah.
And it ends up leaning in his favor, so he got more points. So he split first place with someone else for like $300,000 or something like that. So he got $160,000.
Oh my god!
So we went.
What kind of bet was this? Like some
it was
crazy
like $8
parlay?
it was like an $8 like buy-in, like just like a tournament, like the opening tournament of the season, whatever.
Okay.
So a lot of people go into it. I don't know. It was like a 1 in however many million chance of winning this thing. So we pull over and we're like $50,000, and then like half an hour goes away. He's like, well, I think I just won $160,000. And then we pull over again. So that Christmas was real nice, dude. He gave us all, some money. So he bought us like a bunch of scratch offs and stuff, and yeah, generous dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the most you ever won on a lottery or like slot machine, gambling?
I don't like to gamble because, dude, I watch these guys because they're like professional.
You see the money getting pissed away.
I have videos of James as like a roll of 20s like this, and just like, and I'm like, I'll throw the 20. It's gone. I'm like, all right. Let me go drink at the bar.
Yeah.
And just watch him lose.
I like getting something for my money, guaranteed.
Yeah. But then he wins like thousands all the time.
How much did he lose to get there?
I don't know. I don't think he talks about that part. So
it's the thrill of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So I guess that's a pretty interesting story.
That's a good one. I forgot about that. You told me that.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you. So Casey and I knew each other because we met each other at Bel Air Cantina, a local establishment down at the Downer location. What is like one thing you remember? Like one, I'm trying not to laugh because I feel like this could be so bad.
Yeah, cut all this out. I'll let you know what I remember.
But what's like one story or like one party
I
that you
one.
like vividly?
I got a pretty good story.
Oh God, I hope it's not about me.
It is.
Oh, fuck.
It's not. It's kind of incriminating, but cut it out. We'll cut it out. No, nothing like that. I think I was working there, and you just started managing.
Okay.
And like right away, we were like, hit it off. We were just like, you're cool, whatever, And it was like you were there like a week, and then we realized we lived near each other.
Yeah.
And
because you were still living on Brady.
Yeah, it was on Franklin, off Brady Street.
Right. Yeah.
and you live on like Jackson or something
Mhm.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, I can give you a ride if you want.
Yeah.
Because he had a meeting. You were like going to introduce yourself to the company.
Oh yeah, we had the staff meeting.
And
We
you're
had like the introduction.
Yeah, you're like, I need to like, you know, introduce myself as the new manager or whatever. I'm like, okay. He's like, I can pick you up. I didn't know him that well, so I was like, yeah, boss says, you know, I got, you know, got my suit and tie. I'm like ready to go, whatever. I walked to his house. It was like a block away. He's like, do you want to like hit a dab? I was like, for real? I'm like, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna be like puss out. You know what I mean? Like,
Is this a test?
yeah. I'd be like, yeah, you're fired. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we hit a dab. Bad choice for me. Fine for you.
Yeah, I think it. Did I take a couple?
Probably.
I think I took a couple.
I'll give you a little one. Just give you a
What we used to call chip dips.
Yeah,
you take a chip of the slab and just throw it on the nail.
So, yeah, I'm like, okay, I am out of my mind, Stone. We go to Pick and Save to get donuts for everybody. Yeah, and I don't even know where I am.
Yeah,
I'm like picking up like pieces of bread. You're like, oh, the donuts are over here. I'm like, oh yeah.
And I'm over there like,
yeah. You're like, 20 minutes ago. And I'm like, you know. So we get to the staff meeting, and I'm like hood up in the back. You know, is it like Mean Girls or whatever?
Yeah.
Where, you know, like, I'm just like, ugh.
She doesn't even go here.
Yeah. And Benny's up there. Hi everybody, I'm Benny Salongo. You know, like conducting this meeting, and I'm over here like having an existential crisis in the back. You know, I'm like, how is he doing this?
And yeah, I remember that vividly, and I thought it was hilarious because at the end of it, I just remember you coming up to me and being like, bro.
Yeah, and I think I had to work that day too.
You did. We had to open. It was Sunday. It was a Sunday morning.
I was like, why did I do this?
Yep.
I thought it'd be cool.
Yep.
We would.
That turned out that was a lot. Very much. We turned out not to be good.
To be good.
No,
we bring the pen. We go in the basement
and just rip the pen.
I still, and then sometimes the Alcoholics Anonymous would come in, or like they would come in on Sundays, like a group of like 15.
Oh, yes, and they would never drink.
Never drink,
obviously, because it's AA.
But there's like 15 of them. Whatever. It's a Sunday. No one's there, and you're like, "Yeah, we should go smoke." I was like, "Yeah, let's go smoke." Go downstairs, rip your pen, go upstairs. Oh, you have a 15 top, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I go, and I'm like, do you want corn or pinto beans? You know, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, they're like, what? You know, I'm like, do you like tacos? You know, like freaking out, and you're just laughing at me.
But at the same time, that level of service was still better than a lot of people who worked there, to where it was like, and this is no shade at all. This is actually, if anything, I'm proud, because some of these people, now that it's, been 7, 8, 9 years since being there, and seeing where they are now, and they're like super successful or like crazy career, I'm like, well, damn, either you got the veil pulled over these people's eyes, or you grew up.
You figured it out.
And I remember that too. Like, obviously we were close to the campus, so we were the older guys, like people.
Yeah.
And then everybody else was like college students.
Right.
So I get that for a lot of people that was like their first job, or, just not a lot of experience, or just did it part-time to get like weed money or whatever. I get it. But fuck, man, some of those people were like some of the worst servers I've ever worked with, especially then going like, once I left Bel Air and launched SayWord full time, I was still at Dan part time, and just like working there and working with all the other servers, going out to other restaurants and just like experiencing all these other places. Like, you really pick up on like, okay, who's a good server and like who's not. And oh my God, our crew was definitely the most fun and partied the hardest by far out of every single Bel Air.
We like started it together, we were there for orientation. We had meetings there before it was like the building was done,
right?
So
yeah, and that crew, that like initial wave of people, because obviously I came in like maybe like 6 months after you guys had opened, but that core group of people you had, almost all of those people from when I got there were still there when I left. Like, some people left and came back, like Mora and Abby and people like that, but we really had such a very tight knit. It was cool because that was one of the like few groupings of people throughout my life that I did really feel like homey family like a really
Yeah. Part
family
of something. Yeah,
dynamic. Yeah,
exactly.
part of something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there was younger kids, we had a lot of people older than us too who
Mhm.
worked there. It was cool. I mean, we even got to the point where all those kitchen guys were there the whole time.
Mhm.
So just the relationship with like Manny and
Everybody,
Eduardo
yeah.
and everything, like it was so prevalent
cool.
there. It was super cool.
A lot of those people are still friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That core group.
So Colton married one of Katie's best friends.
Mhm.
Adam's dating one of Katie's best
Mhm.
friends. Like, I know Katie's still friends with a lot of people. Morgan and Cannon are great friends. Like that's so cool to see. And obviously that's the biggest reason why you're here. That's how we met each other.
Right.
And we've had a lot of people in the shop, Jeff and Rachel. We have had a lot of people from those days be supportive. And even the owners, I mean, Scott and Kristen, they've been super supportive of SayWord, allowing me to do events there.
Yeah,
we
awesome.
just actually applied for a media pass for Flat Out Friday and Mama Tried next week because we want to it's cool to do more.
That's the cool thing about Milwaukee is it's pretty small. So if you're successful or you're doing something, it's pretty easy to rub shoulders with anyone else who's doing something. So it's like, help me. Hey, remember me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
And I think the recognized real to where like especially the older business people, like more established, more years in the game or whatever, they're more willing to not necessarily take someone under their wing, but give them a shot if they see they've been doing it. And I mean, I've been at it for 7 years now, so I think a lot of places are finally seeing like it's not just part-time, we're here to stay. SayWord's been around for 7 years. The store's been around for going on 4.
I was gonna say, speaking of people, taking off after, I remember when we met, you were like dreamt of having a store. You talked like, I'm gonna have a store one day. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. You know what I mean? To like you like selling a few shirts out of like your house and then having the store across the street into this, it's just like it's crazy.
Or I even think that in between time of like doing the pop-ups at Company Brewing and like you guys would come out and like shit like that, like
grinding.
Third Space, like all those places I was doing pop-ups and like there was just so much support, like so many people saw that vision, which is cool.
It's awesome.
It's really cool.
So
what are some of your favorite like music projects? Just going back to music, like what are some of those, like if you had to put right now to one, what's like your favorite thing musically you've ever done? Even if it's not anything you've necessarily released, just something that you really am like, damn, I fucking snapped on this.
It changes. It's always like usually kind of like the last thing I did. You kind of get over it, whatever. The most like successful thing that I've done like completely alone was this like Future remix. It's called No Fucks. And it like blew up a little bit on SoundCloud. And when I wrote that whatever, and it like came together, and the best songs do. And like the night you're like obsessed about it, and you just finish it. And you're like
snap.
And like you're like, what is? Holy shit!
How did I just do it? You like wake up and it's done. You're like, what? Fever dream.
But sometimes you wake up and like, what the hell was I doing? It's like fart noises and stuff. It's like this is not good. But like at night, 3 a.m, I'm like, dude, there's like hella memes about that. You know what I mean? But the day after,
let him cook.
It's like it's like post cook clarity or something. It's like I wake up the next day with a clear mind, and I'm like, But that's a cool one. But I think the most proud I am probably now is like the newest Harm's Way record.
Okay. Because you did a lot of writing for it, didn't you?
Yeah. So I keep hitting the mic. I've been really self-conscious about this mic placement, so
that's fair.
We can hold. I like that. Did you ever see the meme where they do it with a dog? They're like, any words? He just sniffs the mic.
No, my favorite is when Sam Baroni uses obscure objects. Like one time he used a dandelion. Like
nice.
One time he did like a chicken or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah. After you get,
Elf. Yeah.
But yeah, the newest Harm's Way record we wrote like kind of over the pandemic. And what kind of ties into me learning computer music and stuff like that is Harm's Way has like industrial and computer kind of like synth stuff and some like fake drums and stuff like that and involved. And they didn't have that before. They had a little bit, but they would have like studio engineers do it and stuff. But I'm like part of the band, so I can write into the songs and stuff like that. So we couldn't see each other during COVID. So Nick, the guitar player, would write on Ableton on my computer. I would like program the drums. We'd write riffs and we'd try to like piece things together. we go on Zoom with the rest of the band. They listen to what we wrote and they give pointers and stuff. And so a lot of it was like Nick and I just really rehashing and just like kind of obsessing about like we can make this part better, and we had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So it's like we would just whatever, and we wrote a lot of the record.
Do you think that because of that, you guys brought a new sound to this album?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do
you think that's why it took off a lot harder?
Was
this the one that was like #1 on Apple Music for a while?
Yeah, it did pretty well.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's cool because Harm's Way was a band 10 years or so before I even joined.
Yeah.
I started doing like merch for them
for
like a couple of years, and I started playing bass, and now I'm like helping write stuff like that. So as a fan or someone who like, it's like if someone picks up like a franchise, like a movie franchise, like I'm a fan of Star Wars. I could write Star Wars now, you know. That's how it is with like Harm's Way. It's like I know as a fan how I kind of would want Harm's Way to move or whatever. And like it would be cool if this band kind of did this thing, whatever. So we keep in mind like if I like write a drum part, I'm not writing it for Chris, but I'm writing it loosely based on how he already plays. You know what I mean? Because we play with him and we get like his style, so we like kind of like overall have like the part idea. You know what I mean? He does his flair.
You
on
know
it.
his strengths.
Yeah. So it's like he would kill this. He would do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we write to that, and then, you know, but we also bring in fresh ideas because, like I said, they were a band for 10 years, and how many ideas can you really have? You know, when you have like, you know, so just having a different pair of eyes on something, you know, whatever. So definitely brought in like a new element to the stuff. And,
Do you think your both love and ability to produce like rap and R&B style stuff, do you think that helps you with like the hardcore stuff, or like not at all? Like it just...
No, it definitely does.
Yeah, because it adds like a different flow and like approach to it.
Yeah.
Or what do you think?
In multiple ways. So in one way, like just like my familiarity with the program is huge. Like if you're struggling with like getting things set up and whatever, your creativity is just like gone. Like the quicker you can get that out. So like doing a million beats or whatever, I know how to like streamline like getting something out and done and ready to go, and kind of like I'll program this quick, we can move on, you know. And it's like having the like vocabulary to like kind of like be able to like Nick is like he's like a riff generator, like kind of like a genius. It's just like, oh, how about this or this is this. He just has a million riffs. So I'm like, that one's cool, this one's cool. Let's sandwich these together, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like engineering and also like, you know, helping sculpt it and stuff. And he's like kind of coming up with a lot of the riffs. Yeah. So we're a pretty good team with that. Yeah. And I just like my knowledge of navigating the program and like programming beats and stuff. And then even
it's very like composing, producing.
Right. Yeah. And like mixing in a way. I mean, like the demos we make don't have to be perfect, but like I make them sound as close to like how a record would sound. So like we get an idea of like, oh, this part hits. Otherwise you don't really know. Yeah. Until it's like out there. And it's also, you can hear it without playing it. So you can pay all your attention to like, is this part cool? Is it just fun to play? You know, kind of like all those psychological things. So yeah, it definitely plays a big part. Okay. Plus I write a lot of like the interlude stuff in between songs. Like I get to make like soundscapey stuff and almost like industrial beats. So like using different samples and weird like mechanical sounds and stuff. I still get to use all my like knowledge from making beats into Harm's Way in a way. Yeah. But it's going from like making something like sexual and moody and stuff to something that makes it's supposed to sound like you want to kill someone. Yeah. So it's like I have to like translate that and just like switch the channel a little bit.
Which goes to my next question: have you ever killed anyone? Yeah. Now this next segment is one of the SayWord Word Wednesday and just SayWord in general classics. It's this or that. And this week with Casey, we're doing 90s music, this or that. Casey, there's no wrong answer. It's your choice. You can give an explanation if you want. You don't have to. You can say, because I feel like it. So it's 4 questions. It's this or that, 90s music edition. Are you ready? Yeah. Question number 1 is going to be Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
I'm going NSYNC.
NSYNC. What tilts you to NSYNC?
They just seem like the iPhone version. You know what I mean? Like they were like Backstreet Boys kind of was like the Android. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like as a kid, like NSYNC seemed like you're the one. Like Justin was good.
So exactly. Okay.
You know
So Backstreet Boys is Android. So you're saying has probably more talent in theory, but
Mm,
NSYNC's better show and more entertaining, like an iPhone.
I guess so. I guess I'm. Yeah, I don't know. I find myself like I don't know. There's a few instinct tracks I go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah, I mean before that. I mean that first record that has like a few good ones. I don't know. And then Justin going on to like whatever is cancel me. See, cut it out. Cut that out. I don't like Justin. Anyone named Justin
Covers his Justin Timberlake portrait
Yeah.
tattoo on his chest.
This one. No.
All right. In sync.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. Question number 2 is going to be TLC or Destiny's Child.
I think that's tough. I think
Ladies, leave your man at home.
Yeah. I feel like Destiny's Child maybe has like more hits.
Yeah.
But like for nostalgic like reasons, I guess like my brother had like the TLC like cassette tape.
Yeah.
With like
Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it's like an early memory of like what is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chasing Waterfalls, I thought Jason Waterfalls was really funny. You know, like
Wait.
Jason Waterfalls, like someone named Jason Waterfalls.
Is that what you thought the words were?
I might have.
Okay.
Don't go Jason Waterfalls. You know, like Mr.
mom,
Waterfalls, please don't go.
My mom thought it was ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full of gum.
Oh.
And I was like, Mom, why would they have pockets full of gum?
Like you guys want to?
She was like, well, what is it? And I was like, well, it's pockets full grown. She was like, what does that even mean? I was like,
grow a pocket.
Literally. I was like, Mom, like grown, like full of money. She's like, oh, that's clever.
Not like full of Trident, you know, like the squares.
And then whenever she'd say it, I'd picture just like chewed up warm gum in your pocket. So when you stick your hand in, it's like pockets full of gum, like, oh,
it's like here you go.
You're gonna need some gum.
Yeah, it's like pulling dynamite with the
So
tots.
did you say TLC or did you say Destiny's Child? I don't know if you answered.
I was like, they're both good. Yeah, both are good.
Both of them.
I think I might go Destiny's Child just for like. I feel like I'm biased on the TLC. Yeah. Destiny's Child has one. Like,
Okay, that's fair. Better rap group, Wu-Tang or NWA?
I'm gonna say Wu-Tang.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm definitely.
I like it's just like it's like I know NWA is like kind of gritty too, you know, like fuck the police and stuff, but like Wu-Tang just had like grit to it. It seemed like more like punk and gritty and stuff. And it would sample like kung fu movies and it had like some like, oh, this feels dirty. This feels like someone's house.
Yeah,
like,
it was like felt more like dirty and like pop culture references. So like it was like dirty and nerdy, I guess. Mm-hmm. And NWA was almost like I almost feel weird listening to it because I'm white. Like it was so like they're rapping about shit that I necessarily can't relate to because that's their life in Compton.
Right.
Compared to like Ghostface and like Method. Like I loved that shit. Right. Like I
plus like I like liked Limp Bizkit and like new metal and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Redman had a song with Limp Bizkit. Yeah. You know, it's just like, you know, like okay.
Yeah, Big Cross. I like that a lot. I mean? Okay. So Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Question number 4 is gonna be Battle of the Bigs. Big Pun or Big L?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know
them. Like enough music from both.
The thing about like hip hop and me is like
you fell into it later.
Yeah, and music like in general is like my parents didn't really have like really strong tastes in like music, so all the music I got was like from my brother and stuff. You know? That's hilarious. Why am I doing this to myself? I wanted to make a viral moment like Birdman on like the Breakfast Club or something. I was trying to think, how can I go viral with this one?
Dude, one of my favorite lines I heard recently was, "You have 5 minutes to get the fuck out of here right now." I was like, wait, what? And I was like, I love that.
You can leave now. It might take you 5 minutes, you know, but if you walk really slow, that's fine. But like if you start leaving now, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like is you finished or is you done?
Yeah. Yo, finished is you done. Yeah. Or like, DJ Khaled just on there like saying Jurley.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
God, so many different
or
things.
Kodak with the. I hope so. You know, I wanted to like get a viral moment. I was trying to think of my catchphrase. Like, that's like it's like a bit that I wasn't even aware of that I was doing. You know, who else is canceled? You know, like, God, he was my favorite. You know. Okay, I'm. Yep. Put this out. I'll just go into hiding. All right, we're
Casey dropped from band. Severs all ties.
All right. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know a lot of classic like rock. I didn't know like a lot of like hip hop and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So, even in like high school, like the 2000s when like a lot of stuff was like popping off. I'm like, this is cool. Like 50 Cent's cool, but I didn't feel like I'm like, that's not for me or whatever. And now I like get it, and it makes sense and stuff. But I didn't really start getting super into like hip hop and stuff until A$AP Rocky put it out. I mean, that's kind of recent when I started making beats, really, where I felt like, okay, I can do this, because his beats had Clamps Casino, who's like ahead of his time. All his beats were like dreamy and artsy and like weird, and I'm like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
So
Big Pun Big L, I feel, is almost like, I hate to say it, but more of like a deeper cut when it comes to hip hop, to where like they don't have massive libraries, so it's like you're not necessarily going into that if you don't. But okay, that makes sense.
I'm a poser. I don't listen to Big Pun or Big L.
What were some of the big cartoons you watched when you were a kid?
That's a good question.
Like, were you big, like, I had cable, so I'm watching Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network always and forever? Or were you like, I'm watching WB when I'm a kid on Saturday morning, and like ABC Family and like stuff like that?
I had cable.
Okay.
You're privileged enough to have cable.
Yeah. You're like, hey, we live in the middle of nowhere, but at least we got fucking cable.
We had Wi-Fi at some point.
Yeah.
Too. Not then, but you know what it came out. What did I watch? I can't even think.
Did you watch? I bring it up. Did you used to watch like the X-Men cartoons?
Not really. I remember them a little bit.
Okay.
Remember, like, my grandma had like a videotape of like taped Batman's, like the Batman cartoon.
Animated.
Yeah. So it was like an episode of that I'd watch like all the time.
Yeah,
like what? Yeah.
Which one? Do you remember the episode?
I have no idea.
No.
Where Batman was wearing a mask and running around. That was a good one.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. It's Bruce Wayne. You know
what? Dude, chill.
Dude,
chill.
That's a little bit. Chill on that.
It's like I was talking to this guy, and he was like, oh, I don't want to spoil the end of Godfather. I'm like, okay, first of all, I've seen Godfather. Yeah. Also, it came out 40 fucking years ago. If you haven't seen Godfather, it's not a spoiler. You just haven't seen it. That's on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Funny enough, never saw it.
Any of them? Interesting.
Just 3. No. Can you imagine? Like, everyone hates that one. You know what I mean? I love the 3rd one.
Fire. Yeah. Great. Okay. I asked, obviously I'm wearing my Cyclops shirt today, but they just announced, it's called X-Men 97, being released on Disney Plus in the middle of March. And it's super cool because the show ended like pretty much halfway through the last season. They were like, just so you know, like, we're not renewing. So they kind of had to like rush the ending because it was a continuation of story. And at the last episode, it's Charles Xavier dies, and then they're like all lining up, and they're like, okay, we have to take it from here. And then it goes in the starlight, and then it ends, and that's it. And so now with this new one coming out, it's actually continuation. Like, obviously new artists and stuff like that. But people are freaking out because it's one of those shows that like people always wanted like
more from.
Nice. Like, did you ever watch like Teen Titans, like the originals on like Cartoon Network as a kid? No, same thing. Like they found out like halfway through the season, and it just ended. They never actually wrapped anything up, and it's like
a lot of weird cartoons from then. I'm blanking. I don't know anything about Pokemon really, but like it keeps coming to mind that I used to watch that cartoon.
But what other cartoons? So were you watching like?
I remember a lot of them, like Dexter's Laboratory.
Okay. Cartoon Network. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like mostly Cartoon Network. So you mostly
watched Cartoon Network at that time. So you're talking like Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo. Right. Like, did you watch like the Toonami at that time, which was like the anime, like 3 hours after school? Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Gundam. Okay.
There's a lot of obscure
Space Ghost.
That one I didn't get. It was like a talk show, and I'm like,
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I'm like, where's the bopping on the head and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess like Tom and Jerry and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I love
Looney
slapstick
Tunes.
comedy and shit
Yeah.
like that. You know, so
Okay.
Looney Tunes stuff like that for sure.
Did you, when you were a kid, did you ever go to the WB store? Like in the malls and stuff?
There was KB Toys, not WB.
You
stuff.
never went to one of the WB stores? Okay.
Is that with the frog?
Yeah.
WB.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, WB's like Looney
no.
Tunes and stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Like,
yeah. I just asked because
obviously.
at Mayfair there was a WB store, and the coolest part was inside they had Marvin's Rocket, and you could climb inside as a kid, and they had like 4 TVs. You could sit inside and like watch cartoons and shit.
That's it.
So.
Now I think about it, wasn't cartoons. I was like pretty into like Power Rangers and shit.
Okay.
That was my thing.
Did you watch like a lot of like live action stuff when you were a kid, like the Nickelodeon shows, like All That and like
the Even
Kenan
Stevens
Kel,
and stuff.
Even Stevens, yeah.
Good
Okay.
Burger.
Yeah.
Also my aunt worked at like a store, like convenience store type of thing, hardware store, but they would have like, they sold or they rented movies.
Okay.
So she would get like movies before they were
Thank
out.
God you were in a small town. The hardware store, video store hybrid. Did it have a
Oh, yeah.
bowling alley too?
A couple like rocks and stuff in the back you could roll around and some boulders and stuff, bro. You know what I mean? We had to stop our cars with our feet, like, you know.
Sewn in.
But yeah, so I would get a lot of like the like Disney movies and stuff before they came out. Like not a lot before they came out, but they would come out. And there's one time I got to bring a movie into school, and it was a movie that didn't come out yet. It was I felt so fucking cool.
King shit.
But what would happen is that like to mark that these are like testers, they would like go black and white for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
I think it was like Mr. Magoo or something.
I was gonna ask what movie.
Yeah, it was like Mr. Magoo with like,
which is probably, I'll be honest, probably one of the more mid Disney movies.
Terrible. But I was like in 3rd grade. I was like, dude, look at this
King shit.
Yeah, I was like, this didn't come out yet.
Bootleg.
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is a segment I usually do where we talk about like ghost schools, conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Okay. So I always like diving in that because I like the weird stuff. I'm super into it. You're just gonna have all these different. Like,
I like this. I feel like
now.
I feel, you know, it's something to do with my hands now.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you want me to do it too, so you're not alone?
I don't care. Yeah, let's do it.
Does it feel better that way?
We should do each other. Yeah. So, like this, what do you think? Yeah.
I'll get the tiniest little mic stands.
Dude, that would be hilarious. Hello. Testing.
Check 1, check 2. Okay, yeah, I'll hold them with you.
I like
Why
this.
not? Yeah, if you
This
feel
feels a little more like.
I will say I should probably switch hands because I talk so much. That, like maybe. Whoa! I'm editing something right there. I'm doing
shit.
Yeah.
I was thinking Ace Ventura when he's like, you know.
I love that. Like I do that all the time where he's like
soccer kicker,
and then he goes on like
soccer style kicker. Yeah. Graduated, you know, like
Finkel is iron is Finkel.
What do you know about Ray Finkel?
Okay, so for this ghosty ghouly say word weird segment, we're talking about the Malaysian airplane. You know which one I'm talking about? The one that disappeared about 5-6 years ago. That's Flight 370. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, flight with like 80 plus people, including the crew, disappear. Off radar, no debris, none of the bodies found, nothing ever washed up on shore, just gone. And because they couldn't find anything, they pretty much just closed the case, right? Because there's what are you going to do? There's nothing there. They're waiting for something to pop up. Families have gotten super impatient, so they've been like pressing and pressing. Apparently, recently, footage has leaked. Have you seen any of this?
Mm-mm.
So you remember this, though? You know what
Does it have something to do with the Tic Tac, the weird UFO Tic Tac UFO things or whatever?
Similar, but this one's like 3 spheres.
Okay.
So they apparently new footage, of course, classic comes out, and it's 3 spheres going around the airplane, and all of a sudden they get faster and faster, and it's like a thermal camera, and they get like real red for like a second, and then it's gone. Everything's gone. It blimps and the plane's gone. The spheres are gone. Everything is just gone. And the crazy thing is people are like, well, if it exploded, the plane's thermal camera, like it would
It would
have,
show.
there would be
Yeah.
debris, there'd be a black box, there'd be things to track the phones from the people, people and items would wash up on shore
Right.
by now, and there's literally been nothing. And obviously since then all these governments have come out and confirmed UFOs. So do you think that like that is actually something? It's so hard now because anything can be made, anything can be made on the internet now, so
Right.
it's so hard to decipher what's like
What's real.
actually true and
Mhm.
what's not. And I feel that it's such a weird line. Like, is that something that you could see? Like for me, I totally see that as like plausible.
Possibility.
Yeah, because they have the footage of like those pill spacecraft and all these pilots seeing this stuff. There's now thousands and thousands of confirmed sightings and cases that the military between Mexico, United States, like European countries have like straight up confirmed and admitted.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like people don't like really care, or like there's so much being thrown at us right now. They're like aliens. We're like, all right.
yeah, right.
I feel like I'm in
Right.
a point where I'm not really surprised by like anything that's happening. Like
True.
so much has happened in our lifetime where like tomorrow you could be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like something. I'm like, oh, I guess we're aliens. Or,
I guess
you know
we're
what I mean?
here now.
You're like, oh, they know what happens when you die. Like sick. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
like naively like believe everything, but I'm kind of accept that like most things are
Yeah.
possible in
Yeah.
a sense. Saying that, I would say I can see it happening.
Have you ever had any sights, things you think you've seen when it comes to
No,
stuff
really.
like that?
I don't really have a ghost story. I don't really have an alien story. I wish I did. Or maybe I just like
Trauma blocked it out.
yeah, like everything else in my life. You know
You're
what
like, but I do this weird zipper on the back of my neck.
yeah, well, this thing. Oh, I don't know. Like bumped into my receiver back here. You know, like, I don't know.
My
But
stomach glows at night.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
weirdest
Like I
thing.
said, I just accepted it. You know, I thought I swallowed a light bulb or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
weird, right? You don't have this?
Yeah, exactly. I'd say I believe it. You know what I mean? Also, yeah. I feel like aliens are coming now, either to be like, oh, these guys are gonna like destroy themselves soon.
Yeah, leave
Let's like
them.
intervene,
Let 'em burn
or
themselves
they're
out.
like, oh, they're about to break through like the AI thing, or whatever. Like, oh, our things that we've been growing for thousands of years are now finally getting into this stage. You know,
Yeah.
like we'll say what's up now. Like, oh, you guys have AI. Like now you guys are cool enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's super weird because like just literally the number side of it, like it's obviously impossible that we're the only ones
Oh yeah.
like out there. You heard about like the Lockheed thing, that's like everything that came out that apparently Lockheed they create like weapons and missiles and you know, they almost seem like out of a comic book stuff. And now all this stuff came out that they actually have like their own private military, and
Shit.
they send out these private units before the military can to like retrieve spacecrafts and like the bodies and stuff like that. And there was like a whistleblower who like confirmed all this stuff, that like they have like high power energy rifles that like they will not sell to the military.
Is
yet.
it
It's like
Dan Bizarre or whatever? What's Lazar? What's his name? Bob Lazar. Oh, that might be something different, but he like worked at Area 51. It was like
yeah.
whistleblower, and he's been saying the same story since like the 80s or
Yeah.
something. And about like there's like this element that he was talking about back in the day, element 115 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's like element not on the periodic table that like helps with gravity and moving through space, like using gravity instead or something. And they actually discovered that element like recently or something like that. So everything he's been saying for like 30 plus years is
it's
kind of
proven to be
yeah.
true.
And he says like I saw ships and they used the system of like, you know, whatever, but that's
Yeah.
probably something different. But anyway,
Yeah,
good.
but yeah, same thing. They're like taking these crafts and then they're studying them and like applying their technology to all these different things. And it's really, really strange because it's just weird knowing that someone were to have like a completely private like military and they're going out there and like getting these things. It's really it's really surreal. And I think just like adds to like how small like we really are and how little like say and things. So like obviously you know the Mandela effect. Okay, so they're saying that what it is their like governments and stuff like this is going back and changing things just to see how much they can change things, to see what like the real effects are and like what we notice and what we don't. Like, so do you believe in like the Mandela effect, stuff like that?
A little bit. Some of it's weird.
It is weird, right? So obviously the most common is like the movie, to where like people say it wasn't and it was, that the footage out there is like not real footage.
Do they say it's like Shaq, or they say
yeah, because you can see the Shaq movie.
It is Shaq.
It is Shaq.
But people say it was
Sinbad. That there was also a movie with Sinbad. And the reason that it's fucking up people more is that in like right around like the 2010s or something, he filmed like a fake video that looks old just to like feed into it more. So when people go to look up the clips, there's these clips that look old, so it messes.
See it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the Berenstain Bears, that whole thing. How do you remember it?
I couldn't read, so they were just bears to me.
The BBs?
The BB.
The 4 bears?
The bear books.
Yeah, the bear books.
That's what they were to me.
Okay, so what about...
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, okay, so like the peanut butter. Like the peanut butter thing. Do you remember it being called Jiffy?
Yeah. It's just Jif.
It's Jif. But I remember
Jiffy.
Jiffy.
Yeah. And like Fruit Loops is spelled a certain way.
Fruit Loops, Looney Tunes, like all that stuff.
Is Looney Tunes with 2 O's or a U? Looney Tunes.
Tunes, because it's Looney Tunes, like sounds.
Yeah.
But
Tunes.
Looney Cartoons, Looney Tunes, that like I remember TOONS, but that's not right. What about the
I just think of Roger Rabbit when he's like Tunes.
Yeah.
I love that movie, by the way.
I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think that's one of the best like anime. Like, don't get me wrong, love Space Jam, but when it comes to like the human/animation, that movie is fucking goated.
Really
like
good.
I like Cool World. Do you like Cool World?
Never saw it.
It's the same thing. It's like real, but it's like even more like sexy, spicy kind of thing.
Nice.
But by far, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is like, I know people who's like, oh, I've never seen
He's
that.
the sexiest.
It's the sexiest.
What's her Jessica Rabbit? Is she actually a rabbit?
No, she's married to Roger Rabbit. That's the wife.
Oh, I'm like, yeah, my favorite movie. Don't know anything about it.
That's the one with like the pig and the swords, right?
Yeah. Obviously, was she a rabbit? I'm actually not.
She's actually a super hot woman, redhead woman.
Because I was like, I remember being hot, but I don't want it to be like, what, Lola or whatever?
Lola Bunny?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to like say like, oh, she was hot.
A little bestiality?
Yeah. I didn't want to fall in that trap, so I
but the cartoon's totally fine.
Yeah. I mean, Lola's fine. In that universe, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
MJ was definitely spit.
Yeah, spit shine, the fucking the
I'll
court
show you
spit shine.
I'll show you spit shine.
Yeah, he's in the back, spit shine, and yeah.
Mike's, what was it? Secret. Was it a special sauce? No, secret recipe, secret stuff. Mike's secret stuff, which sounds even more sketchy.
So sketchy.
He gave Lola the secret stuff.
Oh my lord, those bottles. Oh god.
Okay, but what about like the Monopoly guy? Didn't he have a monocle?
Yeah, but are we confusing him with the Peanut guy, Mr. Peanut? Because he had a monocle, right?
Okay.
If he didn't, I'm going home.
But here's my thing. He had to have a monocle. You know why? Ace Ventura. You must be the Monopoly guy. And he tips him over and he has a monocle. That's why he picked him.
Yeah, so that's a good point. I think like a lot of the Mandela effect is because all the movies like quote the thing. So you're like remembering the quote, not the real thing.
Okay.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask you this. The show that's on HBO with the 4 women, they drink, they're in a city.
Yeah, it's Sex and the City, right? In the city? Sex in the city.
You tell me, what is it?
Sex in I always thought it was in the city.
That's what I thought. But it's
and
not.
the City.
Sex and the City. That is a stupid title. It's Sex in the City.
Maybe that's why people mess it up, because they're like, it should be that. Like Looney Tunes, it should be that. But they're like, oh, they didn't do that.
But don't you remember? Like, I remember it.
I don't remember what I ate yesterday.
Skechers, like all these things, like the cornucopia, the Skechers, it's spelled different.
It's like Q or something.
We had a K. Skechers. Don't you remember SK?
Yeah,
it's SC or something like that. It's different. It's different. The Pikachu's tail thing, I don't really believe that. People are saying he used to have brown on the tip, which after I say it, I can see it. But
it doesn't. Is it black? Is it anything?
Nothing.
Just straight yellow?
Yes. It has some on the base. Look at.
Do you happen to have a Pikachu in this building at all? Yeah, I have 17.
So here,
Oh,
but not at the end.
Mm.
Right? Look at here's some Pikachu ass.
Because the ears. The ears have that.
Yeah,
so it feels
because
like
you would
be,
assume it would also be on the tip of
This
the
is
butt.
a bad design.
It is a bad design.
I mean, it's very popular.
I mean, it's probably a goat. It probably top 10. I hope the fire truck's not in front for us. That would be interesting.
It's really hot in here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'll be honest. To me, that's always been something like it does mess with me because I have a really good memory and I do remember some of those things. So for somebody to tell me that I'm wrong, I hate that in general, but specifically something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like shit's weird because like the cornucopia thing with the Fruit of the Loom, this woman went like crazy trying to find it and looking for it. And then she found multiple designs with it on, but Fruit of the Loom claims they've never had a cornucopia in their logo. It's really weird. I can picture it. That's the only reason why I know what a cornucopia is.
Exactly. You're right. When else would you see it?
I mean, Thanksgiving, but it's like, oh yeah, that's the thing that's on the Fruit of the Loom tag. Like I can picture it. It's super weird.
That one's pretty weird.
That one, some of those, like the Curious George thing, he doesn't have a tail. And everyone remembers him with a tail because he's a monkey. Why wouldn't he have a tail? But he doesn't have a tail.
Yeah, it's always stuff like that, right? Or like it doesn't make sense that it's not that.
Right. Super weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like one of the biggest ones for you?
Probably the Fruit of the Loom one you just said. That one's kind of mind blowing. And is it Shazam or Kazam?
The movie's called Kazam.
Whoa. Okay. Kazam. The only thing I remember from that movie is it like rains burgers and fries and stuff. Is that right?
I'll be honest.
You don't know.
I don't remember a goddamn thing from either of the movies, whichever one existed.
I remember one scene, and it was like he like wishes for like food, and it's just like fast food falls from the sky. I don't know.
I think of when I think of Sinbad now, I think of the episode of It's Always Sunny where Dennis goes crazy and they lock him up and Sinbad's in it. And isn't it like the drummer from Matchbox 20 or something? The singer. Yeah.
Whatever his name is. Tom or something. Tom. Yeah.
Not Tom.
Tom 20.
Yeah, the Mandala shit's really weird. Okay, so what about how far are you from like last episode we talked about like the Beast of Bray Road? Did you ever go out there?
No, I don't. We had like a road, like haunted road or whatever that we would go to, and people would freak out and like.
Why was it haunted?
I don't know.
Is it that road in Wisconsin where all the Boy Scouts died?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's just a random spooky.
I don't remember. I remember just driving there with a friend one time and like him gotta get out of here. Like he just spooked himself out. You know what I mean?
But it's
like like someone got hit by a car or something out there, and she like haunts people if you go park out. It's stupid.
Did you ever do the Bloody Mary? Was that like a big thing in your school?
I had a few, yeah.
You like look in the mirror and you say like Bloody Mary 3 times.
Oh yeah. I don't think I ever did. I've heard of it, but I think I was too scared to do it.
We're gonna do it right now.
We're gonna have we're gonna have Bloody Marys.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah. Be worse than actual Bloody Mary coming at you.
Yeah, I'd rather deal with Bloody Mary than Bloody Marys for sure. Yeah. Okay, so then for this next segment, one thing we do, we've played with the staff, we play with the guests from Word Wednesday. It's called Who Would Win? And what we do is we take a matchup from pop culture, different realms, and we put them against each other. Same thing as this or that. There's no right or wrong answer.
Nice.
But if you have a little spiel as to why or a preference, feel free to let it out and let the people know.
Let's go.
Okay, so question number 1 in this battle is going to be Battle of the Machine. We got Optimus Prime versus the Iron Giant.
Isn't the Iron Giant like nice?
Well, if you remember correctly,
I don't really remember. He's like a friend or something.
He is a friend, but he triggers, and that's why he has to keep him safe because he was like a destructive bot. His eyes turn red, and he's got like cannons and lasers, and he's like super destructive. That's why the town was freaking out. But he's pretty fast. He's got the jetpack. He flies to the moon and stuff like that.
Doesn't Optimus Prime do all that too?
Yeah, he's got a laser sword and guns, and he's
a semi.
He is a semi. Now, I would say based off of scale, Optimus Prime's about the size of a semi, standing up, so probably like 20 feet.
I feel like that's not that tall.
Iron Giant's like like 4 stories, like 5 stories. So Iron Giant's about double the size.
Yeah, Iron Giant is whooping.
But no firepower. It's a little tricky. He's not as much. Does the size, can he just pick up Optimus and whip him?
I feel like we need a movie like Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah. I feel like I'm putting in a lot of thought and swaying you back and forth.
Yeah,
so I'm
like
so
this.
sorry.
No, I don't think I know enough about them.
Yeah,
I'm like, out of the front. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the Iron Giant was a nice gentleman.
He is.
A
I mean,
nice-
he is. That's what Hogarth
Oh.
is trying to train him and show
Be like,
him.
oh,
he's
you're nice.
nice and friendly, and they become friends. And he teaches him about like Superman and stuff. That's why he puts the S on his chest and the cape.
But
and
Optimus Prime is also kind of like like a wise man.
He is.
So he's not like a dick either.
Right.
I feel like they'd just be friends.
Yeah. Draw.
Wait, you saying who would win in a fight?
Who would win in a fight?
Oh.
Yeah. Death match. Random encounter.
I feel like they'd play like Uno instead or something. You know what I mean? Like, who'd win in a chess match is really what.
So who would win in the chess match between Iron Giant and Optimus Prime?
I think Optimus Prime
smokes him.
smokes him.
Okay. I love it.
Let's put these all in context of
Of a
chess
different game.
of a chess match. Yeah.
All right. So we got Optimus Prime winning in the chess match. Question number 2 is going to be Harry Potter
Yeah.
in year 7, peak Potter
Peak Potter.
versus Darth Vader. So this is Sith versus Wizard. Wizard chosen one. Now we've done Luke Skywalker and we've done Harry Potter
These are
before. Good. Thank you. And I know that's common, that's commonly debated, but I figured sometimes Luke might be a little too good. So let's throw him against a villain who's super powerful like Darth Vader. Same powers, but he's got the saber. So Harry Potter, Darth Vader, and you can talk it out if you need. Ask questions if you need.
Yeah. Again, I feel like I'm a Harry Potter fan. You know, like people are like, watch all the movies, I watch all the books, you know.
Yeah.
I maybe seen a couple of the movies.
Yeah.
I read some of the I have some of the original books I got when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Still have those, but I was never a huge fan.
Not a Potter fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a big a Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter kind of guy, or even like Game of Thrones and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I have too much like ADHD. I can't I'm like, whose sister?
The Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, I'll be honest, when it comes to like nerddom,
mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like the Renaissance-y dragon, old medieval times.
CGI ruins every movie for me, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, visually they're always really good,
mm-hmm.
And I love them. You know, they're always very epic, and that stuff is really cool. But like, I don't know.
It doesn't give me. I mean, like the Marvel stuff, it feels like I'm watching like a screensaver or something. You know, like or like you know, I'm like, this isn't real. It's just like so. I don't know.
I was watching Spider-Man 3, like the early one with like Tobey Maguire,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, this like whole movie is digital, like CGI.
Yeah. I don't love
like,
it, dude. When the It movie came back,
yeah,
I'm like, dude, no. The first one's creepy because it's like kind of believable.
Yeah,
and the guy's like a creep.
Yeah,
and it's Tim Curry. He's like so scary looking.
Mm-hmm.
This is like it loses me as soon as he turns into like a massive, you know, like a
and he blows up all weird.
Yeah, but sidetracking us again. But so Harry Potter and Darth Vader. Harry Potter, does he like fuck up Voldemort eventually?
Spoiler, yeah, of course.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I feel like Voldemort and Darth Vader are kind of maybe similar power-wise. I feel like Darth Vader is just good at. Is he a good swordsman?
He also has the Force. So like choking, throwing, borderline extreme psychic. He choked somebody to death across the galaxy.
Harry Potter's fucked. Okay. He'd be sleeping. Just, what is Harry Potter gonna do?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I need to get my Quidditch ball and whatever the fuck he does. He's gonna throw a Quidditch ball at him? Like what? I don't know.
That's fair.
I think I'm going Darth Vader. He's a grown man. He's also, what's the guy's name? Jones, James Earl Jones, right?
James Earl Jones?
Yeah, is that the voice of him?
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I think he is.
All right, question number 3. Xena or Wonder Woman?
I thought they were the same. No. They're not the same.
They're very similar.
Xena was hot. They're both
Xena was
hot. Or no, yeah.
I mean, are we talking Gal Gadot, or are we talking like the animated Wonder Woman? Because the answer is yes for both.
Yeah, the animated one. No, Xena was hot. I never watched it. I don't like got it. It was like, was that on WB?
Yeah, but it was always on at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So like if you stayed home sick
Yeah.
for like the
What
summer,
is this?
Yeah.
Put on fucking
General Hospital.
Yeah, or put on Wheel of Fortune or something. I want to see Bob. Who is this girl? No. I don't know. I told you, I'm like the worst of this shit. I'm like, I don't watch any of this shit. Wonder Woman, she's like invisible with like a lasso or something, right?
Did you say invisible?
Yeah, right.
She's not invisible.
Did she make it something invisible? Did she have an invisible car? Or
She has an invisible jet, which I don't understand because you would still see her. Just
yeah, she'd just be like, "I see you, bitch." Does she have a lasso?
Yeah, lasso of truth.
Okay, so she's like a cowboy with a jet, dude. This is why I don't watch this shit. You know, like
she's got super strength, super speed, flight ability.
Super strength.
Yeah, she rivals. Batman once said that if it's a fight to a death, who he would rather have on his team between Superman or Wonder Woman, Batman said Wonder Woman.
He's got to say that in this era.
This was older.
Oh, okay.
She's got a sword.
Progressive.
She's got a shield. She's got years, like 500 years of fight experience or something like that, because she's Amazonian, so she grows sword. But I think Xena was an Amazon too, and she's got a sword. She's got that circle blade like frisbee thing she throws. She also has a whip. It does not glow or make you tell the truth, but it is leather.
Sexual to me.
Are you sexual?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That part's a little weird.
And Chelsea was just talking about it, how she was like, dude, we were like 10-year-old girls like singing like, am I sexual?
But what's weirder is the backup singer is saying yeah to the question.
Yeah, like the dudes are like, yeah, you are, bro. Yeah, you're sexy.
You're glistening, dude. Look at that.
Well, I mean,
Lance. I'm gonna go Wonder Woman. Cut it out. What the hell are we saying? I feel like a sidetrack.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. Oh yeah. The other day. Okay, yeah, Wonder Woman. But I have a question for you. Do you think they've ever like
who?
Those girls
with each other?
Cut that out.
That's
it's like the Katy Perry boob thing again. I'm gonna say Wonder Woman.
She just got more to the table.
Yeah,
that's fair. Okay, so the last one is Ronald McDonald versus the Burger King.
Oh my god. The only thing I can think of the Burger King is like the big ass, the
king.
Yeah,
they're like king with the crown, like the creepy guy.
Yeah, he's shit. Ass. He's like, is he in like a suit?
I mean, is it a suit or is that him?
Is this Mandela effect, or does he have a beard like down to his knees?
No, you're thinking Father Time.
Yeah, Burger Time, Father Burger.
Burger Time is a fucking video game, actually.
Jesus.
But no, he's got a short beard. But he's done a lot of crazy things, breaking through walls, skateboarding like crazy, flying around.
I think you're thinking of the Kool-Aid Man.
That is, I'm sure, where they got the idea from. But yeah, he's done like a bunch of weird shit.
I feel like Ronald McDonald has nothing.
I mean, I would say the diabetes has probably, the heart attacks, he's probably killed more people.
Oh.
McDonald's has probably killed more people than Burger King.
For sure.
In theory.
For sure.
In theory.
So he's deadlier with his products.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a gang too. He hangs out with.
He kills you slowly.
Burglar. Yeah. Slow kill.
Supersize it.
Yeah.
Get him.
Supersize his hands.
Yeah, literally. I just picture him like creepy on the bench, and then they get close and just,
shanks
jabs
you
him.
Think it's an acrylic one, but it's actually real.
And he just like jabs you.
So Ronald for the dub?
I think so.
Did you know the original Ronald McDonald, who would like tour in Wisconsin, is actually the same guy who started Comedy Sports here?
Really?
Yeah, Comedy Sports, like that brand.
It's clown down to his core.
Yeah, seriously, committed to the bit.
Wow.
I'll be honest, you kind of look like his son.
I was gonna say, you kind of look like Ronald. I'm like,
no, fuck, not.
The hair, the makeup. I'm like, what are you talking
about? Not him.
You kind of look like him. There's something about you.
Not Not him as Ronald McDonald. Him as the real person.
Oh, okay.
I'm blanking on his name. He's Italian. Surprise. But
So I look Italian?
A little bit.
Nice.
You can see it.
Just gotta tuck my hands more.
Yeah.
I'll pick up from you.
Yeah, all my audio.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
So for the last little questionnaire I have, it's a marry, kill. Okay, we got Oprah, Barbara Walters, and Roseanne.
God. I think I'm gonna marry Oprah for the money.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it'd do good for my, my points in the culture. I'm gonna marry Oprah.
Marry Oprah. Got it.
I feel like she's so busy that it'd be like she'd be like
her
a
sugar
mama.
baby.
Yeah. I got this stuff to do.
Yeah.
You
hang out in my bunker.
You relax.
In Maui.
Yeah. You relax.
Yeah.
So that Barbara Walters. I mean Roseanne. Funny. Why am I hanging out with her? I'm just either fucking one of them. Roseanne. Why'd you do this to me? I was thinking money.
Yeah, that's fair too. I also. Is Barbara Walters dead?
Is she dead?
Is Barbara Walters dead?
Because I don't kill her.
Because I don't kill her again.
Yeah. Then pick that. Oh, already won. But then I gotta fuck Roseanne.
Yeah.
Roseanne seems like a freak though. That's a good. I like this. I will go with my choices.
Yeah.
Roseanne is probably a freak.
Kill
I'm happy.
Barbara.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the oldest. She's lived the fullest life.
Yeah.
If she is still alive.
Exactly.
I'd have a fact checker
know.
check, but he's MIA.
I think Joan Rivers is the one that died.
Probably.
Anyway, I'm happy with my choices.
Okay.
She lived the longest, so I'm like sacrificing less.
Yeah.
Oprah's got the money. Roseanne's a freak.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Brains in my hand.
Casey's hot and single and ready to mingle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like guys
in general,
guys in
that's
general,
that's the threshold.
And you also agree that
he can drive.
He can drive. He's in a band. He's not a douche.
Not a douche.
He's an artist. He's hilarious, and he doesn't do hard drugs. So for Milwaukee, you're top 0.5%.
This is going on my Tinder profile.
This is gonna be the video.
Like, you're right off. I mean, hey guys, this guy,
this guy friend,
here.
This is how I'm gonna start the podcast.
Please do. This is how we should have started, so we knew what we were going into.
No, you got a soft. You ease your way in.
Now I'm hard as hell. This is soft, easier way in.
All right, guys, that was this week's Word Wednesday, episode 22 with Casey. It was a blast. We talked about ghosts and ghouls and aliens, Mandela effect. We talked old Bel Air stories, hardcore, Harm's Way, music production, Casey growing up, moving to the city, all types of stuff, you guys. It was super sick. I had an amazing time. Casey, let them know where they can find you, what you have going on coming up. Let the people know what's up.
All right. I guess I can shout out my Instagram. It's CSYSYK. It's my name without vowels. You can see like some of my drawings and stuff on there. Some of my music projects, anything. I usually mostly use that to like promote anything I'm doing. And then Harm's Way. We're going on tour in May with a band called Kublai Khan. A week or two. I think it's like 12 shows, something like that. Smaller run, but it'll be really fun. So yeah.
Hell yeah. You guys, make sure you check out Harm's Way. It's available on Spotify. It's available on Apple Music. You can find it everywhere and anywhere. Listen to some of Casey's originals. I know he doesn't always plug his music, but man, you definitely need to check out some of his phenomenal tracks on SoundCloud. I bang them in the shop frequently, and almost every time I do, someone is asking, dude, what is this? This is fire.
And that's also CSYSYK on
CSYSYK.
It's stupid. It's
Casey Soyk with no vowels. It's not Sizik, as a lot of people thought.
DJ Sizik, yeah. It was a terrible kind of a name choice. I didn't expect.
No, it makes sense. It's literally your name without. I love it. It made total sense.
Yeah, it's just like no one knows what it is.
It's one of those like if you know, you know.
Yeah, which I like.
Yeah, of course.
So check it out there.
If you wouldn't have done that, what would your name have been?
Casey Masterpiece.
Okay.
Like the barbecue sauce.
Really?
Yeah, it was like barbecue sauce, like Casey masterpiece.
I actually don't hate that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's got the sauce.
Yeah, but I didn't want to be that guy.
I know.
I could have been that guy.
You didn't want to
What's
be
up,
like
guys?
You didn't want to
Casey
be the
masterpiece here. Oh, we got another burger for you.
I
No,
would say
fuck
they're like
that.
18-year-old like from Eden being like, I'm Casey masterpiece, bro.
No, I would never, dude.
We've always been low key.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like.
Usually the most talented ones are. Here, I'll wrap it up. I'll try and wrap it up again. Well, that was this week's Word Wednesday, episode 22 with our guest, Casey. It was amazing. We talked aliens, we talked Mandela effect, we talked music, we talked Harm's Way, tours, stories, Bel Air, all types of gems. I think this episode was probably one of my favorites so far. Absolutely hilarious. Tons of stuff taken out because you guys don't need to hear it or see it. But just know it was phenomenal.
We should have an uncut version.
We could do an uncut. I've had people say we should do a Patreon to where you have to pay and it's like the full uncut, unedited
I
version.
think it's a good idea.
It would be a good idea because there are some gems.
The
in there
funniest
that are
stuff might get
hilarious.
cut out.
The funniest stuff may indeed get cut out. But what can I say? So, Casey, if you just want to let them run down again, let them know about tour coming up and all that stuff one more time for me.
Yeah. So my Instagram is CSYSYK. That's where I post most of my drawings or any music. Linked probably to my SoundCloud, which is the same name, CSYSYK on SoundCloud. Harm's Way is touring again in May with a band called Kublai Khan. It's like a 2-week tour, like a US. Yeah, we got a couple shows, festival runs in Europe this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Just got it, that expanded a little bit, so got a busy year ahead of us. So
Yeah, I love that.
Cool.
So you guys make sure you watch this whole episode. Go back, watch last week with Ben, watch the week before that with Sam Baroni. They're amazing. Stay tuned for the next one. That was this week's Word Wednesday. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Later, guys.